There's someone in every family who doesn't talk much about how they feel. Not because they don't feel things, but because they learned early that silence keeps things moving. They're the one who listens, the one who nods, the one who says, "It's okay," even when it isn't. If you asked them how they're doing, they'd pause just long enough to choose the safest answer. Not the honest one, the one that won't worry anyone, the one that won't change the mood in the room. They learned that being quiet was easier than being understood, that holding things in was better than explaining them, that some feelings just didn't have space to exist. So they became the calm one, the reliable one, the one who never makes things about themselves. And over time, that role settled in, not as a choice, but as a habit. They didn't announce their pain. They didn't ask for help. They carried it quietly like background noise, always there, never addressed. In family photos, they're smiling. In conversations, they're present. But inside, there's a separate life happening. One no one asks about, and one they don't know how to explain anymore. They became strong because someone had to be. When things went wrong, they stayed steady. When emotions ran high, they stayed grounded. When someone else broke down, they stepped in. Not with speeches, not with advice, just by being there. They were the one people leaned on, the one who didn't panic, the one who could handle it. And each time they did, something quiet happened inside. They learned that their value came from being useful, from not needing anything, from not adding weight to anyone else's load. So they kept their struggles small, or invisible, or locked away entirely. They told themselves things like, "I can deal with it. It's not that bad. Other people have it worse." And maybe that was true, or maybe it was just easier than saying, "I'm not okay." They became fluent in supporting others, while slowly losing the language to speak for themselves. And no one noticed, because from the outside they looked fine. They always did. But carrying everything quietly has a cost. It shows up late at night, when the house is still, when no one needs anything, when there's finally room to feel. That's when the tiredness hits. Not physical tiredness, the kind that sits deeper, the kind that doesn't go away with sleep. They start to feel invisible, not ignored on purpose, just unseen. People assume they're okay because they've always been okay. People don't ask because they've never complained. People don't check in because they've never needed checking on. And the strange part is, they helped build that version of themselves. The dependable one, the quiet one, the one who doesn't crack. But inside there's pressure, from holding things in, from being careful, from constantly managing everyone else's emotions. They don't feel dramatic. They feel worn down. And sometimes they wonder what would happen if they stopped being strong, if they said something honest, if they let the silence break. But even that feels risky, because when you're known for holding it together, falling apart feels like letting everyone down. At some point, usually alone, a realization settles in. Not loudly, not all at once, just a simple truth, that being quiet doesn't mean being okay, that being strong doesn't mean being unbreakable, that carrying pain silently doesn't make it disappear. They realize they've been protecting everyone else from a version of themselves that deserves care too. And maybe they're not ready to speak yet. Maybe the words are still hard to find. Maybe the silence still feels safer. But something shifts. They start to notice their own feelings instead of dismissing them. They stop rushing past their exhaustion. They allow themselves to admit, at least privately, that it's been heavy. No big declarations, no dramatic change, just a quiet acknowledgement that they matter too, even when they're not holding everything together, even when they're tired, even when no one is watching. And for now, that realization is enough.